Welcome back to the King's Corner Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Christian King, and on today's episode, I'm going to be letting you know LeBron's best fit for his new team. But before we get into that, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button, and if you disagree or agree with what I'm saying today, please comment. But let's get into today's topic. So last week, LeBron comes out and says he's not going back to the Los Angeles Lakers. And then he releases a Instagram story and shows us the 5 teams that he's interested in going to. You had the Miami Heat, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Golden State Warriors, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, I'm not giving you all 5 teams and ranking them from 1 to 5. I'm going to give you the 3 best out of those 5. At number 3, I'm going to give you the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, I know this is where he's had the most success, or the most legacy success, I should say, in his entire career, because it's where he spent the majority of his career and where he was drafted. The reason I don't view them as the number 1 team to go back to is he's only doing this for a chance to win a championship. And you're not winning a championship with James Harden on your team. It just doesn't happen. And I don't think LeBron meshes that well with James Harden. Now, LeBron is willing to take a minimum contract, so the starting lineup, if he went there, would be Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, him, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. That's a phenomenal starting 5. But I'm still not sure that with James Harden, you can trust that team to succeed in the playoffs. And LeBron's trying to go somewhere where even if he's having an off night, they can still win the game easily because he's just having to make smart decisions here and there, makes a couple defensive stops, and just be the mentor of the team. And in Cleveland, he might have to be a little more than that because Donovan Mitchell and James Harden both have to learn how to get over a hump, and he'd have to teach them. So let's get to our next team. Number 2, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think this is one of LeBron's best fits. You go there, you get to play alongside Anthony Edwards. You have a defensive stalwart and Rudy Gobert, Jaden McDaniels. I mean, there's options on this team. The reason they're number 2 and not number 1 is I'm not sure how LeBron would love playing with LaMelo Ball. I'm not sure if LeBron could get down, coming down half court and seeing his starting 1 guard chucking 40-footers from half court with 18 seconds left on the shot clock. Now, maybe LeBron could get that out of him, or LeBron would play into it. I mean, LeBron has played with wild cards in the past, like a J.R. Smith, but they have never had the volume and usage of a LaMelo Ball. And I believe LeBron went to Minnesota, and he wins in Minnesota. See, another reason I had Cleveland number 3 and I'm having Minnesota number 2 is that LeBron wins a ring in these places. Imagine the whereabouts and what this puts on his legacy. I mean, if he wins the championship in Minnesota, he's viewed as an all-time legend, winning them their first championship in franchise history. He's already won a franchise championship for the Cavaliers. Sure, winning a second one is good, but it wouldn't be as historically relevant as if he won one in Minnesota. He'd be the first to ever do it. Minnesota has never even made it to a finals. LeBron has more playoff series wins and playoff game wins than the Timberwolves do as an entire franchise. Just think about that. That's incredible. And LeBron could go there and become the savior of Minnesota. But there's a reason Minnesota is not my number 1 team. My number 1 team, it had to be the Philadelphia 76ers. I really am intrigued to see what happens if LeBron comes to Philly. Could you imagine the gratitude and the love he would get if he wins a championship in the city of Philadelphia, one of the best sports cities in all of the world? If he could win one here, he'd be lining himself up to get another statue for arguably a 4th franchise. He's guaranteed to get a statue with the Cleveland Cavaliers. More than likely going to get one with the Miami Heat. Might get one with the Lakers. That one's a little more iffy. And if he wins for the Sixers, he's guaranteed a statue with the Sixers, and it would be ending a streak. You know, everywhere let's look at what's going on in the NBA. 2016, the Cavs ended a very long streak of winning a championship. Warriors ended their long streak. The Nuggets ended a streak where they had never won, and they finally won one. A lot of these teams are getting over the hump, and look at what the Knicks just did last year. They got over the hump for the first time since the 70s. Well, the next team up that has to end a historic drought is the Philadelphia 76ers. And if LeBron can come in and do that, he probably solidifies himself as the greatest of all time, and he would never, ever have anybody disagree with him from the city of Philadelphia, because Sixers basketball is the second most important thing in the city of Philadelphia to Eagles football, and they haven't been able to say they've had success in basketball. And a lot of people are curious what happens if the Sixers trade Embiid to the Wizards for Anthony Davis. Some are against it because they say Anthony Davis is injury prone. But you can't say that and then say, well, we're not willing to give up Embiid. Embiid's more injury prone than Anthony Davis. Now, Anthony Davis missed a lot of games over the last 2 years, but I could make the argument the reason that is he hasn't been in playoff contention. There's no reason to risk him getting a career-ending injury if you're not in playoff contention. If you trade Anthony Davis to the Philadelphia 76ers for Joel Embiid and they get LeBron James, a starting lineup of Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, VJ Volcom, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis more than likely catapults you to being the best starting five, and not just the Eastern Conference, but arguably the entire NBA, because LeBron wouldn't have the weight load all on his shoulders. He could be primarily a good defender, an athletic finisher. I mean, he'd be your third or fourth option, and that's what LeBron would love, and he'd have Anthony Davis behind him to clean up things at the paint. It works beautifully for LeBron. I'm hoping LeBron comes to Philly. I understand if he went to Cleveland. Minnesota is also an intriguing option. But let me know, what are your top three teams? Do you have the Warriors or the Heat in your top three? And I'm being stupid to some of you? Please let me know. But thank you so much for watching this episode of King's Corner. Until next time, King's Corner.